Okay, so welcome back to the second demonstration video here, where we will be working on the configuration of a NAT server in our VMware platform. A NAT server, or a network address translation server, is a server that helps us send our local or private packets over the internet by using routing and remote access services. For this exercise, we will be using one server, one client. For the NAT server configuration, it is a combination of multiple parts, which will include configuring the routing and remote access, the address assignment, assigning clients the preferred and alternate DNS IP and default gateway, and then verifying that we do have the internet access and packets are being set received in our routing and remote access. Now we have configured our server and client machine here, both of them with a bridge network, and then our server having two network adapters, one for our internal network and one for the external. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Just go to my dashboard. And we're going to start with adding new roles and features. So bringing up the wizard, we will go to the next. This is going to be role feature-based installation. And we have our server 2016A here selected. And for our role here, we'll be selecting remote access. It's just going to reload. There we go. We'll hit next. Keep those default settings. Next. Remote access. Next. For the role services here, we will select the routing. Now, by default, it is going to also include the direct access and VPN with that. So we'll go ahead and add those features and hit next. This just shows our web server role here. Default installation for the web server role includes the installation of those services. Next, keep the default settings here, next, and then we will do the final install. Now this will take a little bit of time here, so I'm going to pause the video just while this finishes. Okay, so now that the feature installation has succeeded, it does say configuration required for the direct access and VPN. We are just focusing on the NAT server role for this demonstration, so we're going to just disregard this option here. I will close this. Just going to refresh a couple of times here. And so here we've successfully installed our routing and remote access to prepare our server for our NAT services. So moving forward from here, we will install our NAT server role and configure our client side to get the IP address. Just refresh again. For our NAT server, I'm going to go to Tools. We will go down to Routing and Remote Access. Enlarge this screen here. And so currently it does show our server as disabled here with this little red circle here because we have yet to configure the services. So I'm going to select my server 2016 here. We'll right click and we will go to configure and enable routing and remote access. It's going to start with the setup wizard here. We'll select next. And so for the configuration, it's essentially asking, what do you want to do? Remote access, download VPN, network address translation, which is what we're focused on here. And then you have the other options of VPN and NAT, secure connection between private networks or custom configuration. For our demonstration, we're going with the NAT. Now, right here, we should have our internal and external network adapters showing up as options for us to use this public interface to connect to the internet. If it's not showing right now, I am just going to cancel, and we will refresh a couple of times here. And this should, when we go to open up the wizard again, it should update with our internal and external networks. And there we go. And so this is essentially asking which network adapter are we using for our internet connection? That will be our external network here. We'll hit next. We're going to enable basic name, address, and services. Because we don't have an Active Directory services, we want to use this, the DNS server from our NAT server. So we'll hit next. And showing us our network address assignment range here. So this is my internal network from where users can go over the internet without disturbing the services. Now, to send a computer over the internet, we do need two configurations, one being a default gateway and the second one being a DNS server. But let me go ahead and just hit next here. We will finish. This takes a little bit of time again as well, so I'm just going to pause while that's loading. Okay, so after installation is finalized here, you can now see for our server 2016, we are active with this little green circle. Went from red to green, from disabled to now enabled. Opening up our IPv4 portion here, we can see our NAT server. And then this here will update the packets here being translated outbound, inbound from our external network when we end up getting the internet services from our client. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and power on my client machine. While I'm booting that up, again, we'll just take a quick little pause here, so I'm not running too long on video time. So we have our Windows 10 client machine booted up here. Now we can see right off the bat on the lower tab portion here that it does show that we do not have internet access. But just for the demonstration here, we'll go ahead and open the command prompt. And we'll try a couple of pings here just to verify internet connectivity. So ping www.google.com and ping request cannot find host. Also try Google's DNS server, ping 8.8, and it shows general failure. So just confirming that, yes, we have no internet connectivity here. So like I had mentioned before, to send a computer over the internet, we need to do two configurations to the IP on our client computer here. One of them being updating the default gateway, and the other being the DNS server. Now we do know our default gateway already, just from our internal network. Let me just pull this up here. So from the internal network on our server 2016A, our default gateway is the 10.1.1.1. And then we also need to update the preferred DNS server. So for the DNS server, we can use the IP address of our NAT server's external IP. So for that, I'm going to come over here. We will, same thing here on the command prompt. And here we're going to run an IP config. We notice our addresses here for our internal and external network. So like I had mentioned, for the DNS server on our client 10A machine, we can use the IP address of our NAT server's external network here. So the default gateway being this 10.0.0.1. So we will come back here, select that in. And then as an alternative DNS server, just for the sake of being safe here, we'll go ahead and enter Google's DNS server address, the 8.8.8.8. Go ahead and click OK. Close. This is going to identify here, 2 there. There we go. asking to be discoverable. We will select yes. And so now we can see that we have gotten the internet access here. So that's updated, but just for double, triple, quadruple checking ourselves here, I'm going to clear the screen and let's try those pings again. Ping google.com. And here we are getting the replies. Looks good. Let's also ping DNS server 8.8.8.8. And we are also getting the replies there. So just, double, triple checking our internet connectivity here. I'll go ahead and exit out of this. And then just once more, I'll verify again by opening the web browser and verifying our connectivity. Set up and put that there. Just wait for this to load up. And there we go. We have our web pages loading here. Give this a moment to finish booting up. And there we go. So successful connection to the internet here. So let me go ahead and close this guy down. And then we'll just go back to our server here, verify that we are now getting these inbound and outbound packets. I'm just going to refresh. And there we go. It's our activity on our external network. So that will conclude the demonstration here for our Nat server. But yeah, this is essentially how we can configure a basic Nat server role in our network that helps us to send our packets over the internet by using routing and remote access services. Thanks very much.